Hey, Dan, good to see you. Shelly, Tice, Jim, Vern, Bill, John, awesome. John, another John, and Brent. Our newest member, Brent Karstensen, everybody is here. I have to say I'm pretty happy that we've been able to induct new members in the last few weeks. Tagba is here as well.
Barb, I see Margaret Reese is here, so we'll probably recognize her today.
Okay,
For, Paul Harris,
got it. I'll call on you.
if that's okay, Margaret.
Yeah, that's a delightful surprise. Thank you, Vern.
We've been waiting for you.
I was taking a class and my class is over. It interfered. I let Barb know I hadn't abandoned you, but the class was, you know, a lot of fun. So anyway, here I am.
Good.
Yeah, so she's been taking advantage of the YouTube posts with our meetings and being able to watch that. And just a reminder to anybody that if you miss a meeting and you watch the YouTube and you want attendance, you can email me or you can email Nancy Droll and we'll make sure that we mark it down for attendance. So with that, it is 12:02 and we will get started. My name is Barb Thomas and I am your president for this 2020 to 2021 virtual year of Rotary. As we do every time, we start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Kelly's going to put up a slide for us. You can choose to stand or not, but please join me, if you will, in the pledge. Kelly, there we go. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States
of America
and
and
to
to
the
the
republic
republic for which it stands,
one
one nation,
under
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Wonderful. Thank you all and welcome. Happy Thursday. Before we get going today, we will kind of turn it over to Kelly for a few quick Zoom tips just to make sure everybody's kind of on board. Kelly?
Great. Thank you, President Barb. Just as a friendly reminder to please use the mute button, especially when our speakers are presenting. It just takes away all that outside background noise. Also, if you look in the far right, you'll see a view tile. Or a waffle, as I'm told it's called as well. You are welcome to click on that and you're able to change views. So you can have speaker view or gallery view. Right now is the excellent time for gallery view so we can see all your fellow Rotarians. But as the speaker begins their presentation, it's really nice, or even the announcements and the moment of gratitude, it's nice to go to the speaker view. Once we start going around for guests and visiting Rotarians, we'll ask you to go into the participant tab and raise your hand should you have a guest, as well as if you're a visiting Rotarian. We will also ask you to use that feature at the end of the presentation should you have any questions. And with that, I will turn it back over to President Barb.
Great, thank you, Kelly. And so this is your opportunity to practice those Zoom tips and go into the participants tab to raise your hand. That's a lot to say in a short period of time. So, and then Kelly will call on you. I do know that we have some visiting Rotarians and we really welcome you as well to raise your hand because we'd love to know that you're here. So Kelly, I'll turn it back to you.
All right, excellent. It looks like Karen Franklin is raising her hand.
Yes, I'm a visiting Rotarian from the Iowa City AM Club.
Excellent. Welcome, Karen.
Thank you.
All right, let's see. It looks like Hazel is also raising her hand.
Hello, everybody. I am visiting from the Iowa City AM Club 2. Nice to see you all.
Excellent. Thank you, Hazel. Welcome. Any other visiting Rotarians, or does anyone else have a guest? All right. I'm not seeing any other raised hands, President Barb.
Okay, great. Well, thanks so much. So we'll move on to an announcements. And I have got a fun one for you. I'm going to share my screen because we have very great news. One of our newest members, Jesus Garcia, is a proud papa. And so I want you to all meet Felix Marcus Garcia. And so there is Jesus with the lovely little boy and his wife as well. I believe his wife's name is Veronica, born within the last week. And I think this might be child number 3. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it might be child number 3 for Jesus. So if you see him or if he joins our meeting late, make sure you go into that little chat and you congratulate him on that happy news. It does look like Mark has his hand raised. So Mark, I'll go to you.
I have this wonderful announcement that the Rotary Kerber Heart Safe Community Campaign is going to be delivering an AED to GuideLink this afternoon at 4:15. That's my privilege, but I so appreciate all of your interest and support for this important work that we share. Thanks very much.
Great cause there, and really excited. Let's make sure there's some photos of that AED being delivered.
I'm on it.
Okay, great. All right, next we're going to go to Brad Baldus. Brad?
All right, thanks, Barb. I am dually logged in here so that I can hopefully share my screen and get the right thing up, not the picture of my background.
That is a beautiful family, though.
Thank you. Oh, it's on the other screen over here, I think. Okay, I think. Can you see?
Yeah.
Well, that's not what I'm trying to get up either. Hold the phone. That's what I'm trying to get up. Okay, so I am just wanting to make another announcement about our annual Rotary sponsored Ronald McDonald House Golf Tournament that is coming up on Monday, June 7th. So just under 2 months away. And I again want to reiterate that we're doing it a little differently this year with tee times instead of a shotgun start for socially distance reasons. And we've got about 68 golfers registered right now, and we're hoping to get up to about 104. So please, if you have any interest at all in playing golf and helping support the local Ronald McDonald House, please consider signing up. And I've got the webpage for our local house up for this event in particular, where it lists the date, Monday, June 7th, and that we are going to be setting up tee times as we get closer and have our registered members. And on the right side of this page is where you can actually register online. It's fairly straightforward and simple. And in addition to registering to play, if you're not a golfer, you can consider being a sponsor, which that information is also on this page on the left side. And then lastly, at least at this juncture, we again are incorporating the Adopt a Program effort as kind of a COVID-19 alternative to our silent auction effort to raise additional dollars for the house. And this link off of the main page to Adopt a House has all the information on how you can donate a specific amount for a specific purpose for a child or a family that is utilizing the Ronald McDonald House. Easy radio buttons to select one of those options here, and additional registration information. So again, just under 2 months away from this wonderful event that we as a club have been sponsoring for 18, 19 years or so, and raised over 800,000 so far, heading towards the $1 million mark. Eric Weiler reminded me of that in an email, that we'll be at 1 million before you know it, and I hope that's true. Thank you for your consideration and listening.
Great, wonderful event. So Brad, will there be opportunities for people to volunteer at the event like there has been in the past?
Barb, teeing up the question. Yes, there will. There is Scott Enyart in our club is our volunteer committee chairperson, and I know he and a couple of members from the house are discussing and working on that. And I'm not sure if we're going to need the same number of volunteers this year as past years based on the slightly different format, and probably fewer golfers than normal, but that will be future announcements coming And if anyone is interested in volunteering, certainly they can do that from that same website. There was a link there to sign up to volunteer as well. And it's usually a very nice day, and it's always nice to be outside in the green golf course, enjoying nature.
That's great. It is a great event. I am not a golfer, but I have participated overseeing the wine swap or whatever they called it. You know, I'm
Wine
all in.
call.
If people are going to come give me money and take away a bottle of wine, I'm there. So I can do that. That's totally
Excellent.
in my wheelhouse.
Excellent. Thanks, Barb.
You bet. All right, next we're going to go to Dave Brown, who's got an announcement. Dave?
Thank you, Barb. Brad inspired me. I want to try to share a screen if I can. Can you see that?
Yep, there it is. Yep.
All right, we've got a couple announcements we've been announcing for the last couple weeks. 2 events are going to be on the same day, 2 days after Earth Day on April 24th. The first one is at 9 a.m. It's going to be at Court Hill Park. We do now have an active link on it. That'd be the best way to sign up for it, so we can have an idea on supplies and refreshments, water, that type of thing. If we need to get some more shovels, reach out and let us know too if you don't have the ability to bring one. The other thing we're working on is there is a church in the area. We'll get this information out as quick as we can too. We're asking permission to use that parking. It's about, it's very close. It's just a couple 100 feet away. Let me see if I can do this. I don't know.
I love how Zoom has provided us the opportunity to all improve our technical skills.
Yeah. Can you unshare my screen from where you are?
I can.
I'm having some difficulty here. Yeah, awesome. And then the second event.
Oop, Dave, sorry, I accidentally muted you. So you got to unmute.
Oh, okay, no problem.
Sorry about that.
The second event is at 10 o'clock. This is going to be our Adopt a Highway. This is just on the other side of Terry Trueblood on Sand Road. If we get enough people, we're going to look at staging like we did last time. It seemed to work pretty well where we meet in the middle. If not, we'll come up with a different strategy. But 2 different ways you can RSVP. If you want to contact me directly, that's fine. Or if you want to go to the link that we'll provide, that's another good way to do it.
Perfect.
And thank you.
You bet. Great work from the Environmental Concerns Committee. It's kind of wonderful to see that right around Earth Day, we're going to be doing all of this activity. We're going to give you lots of opportunities to start to volunteer, because pretty soon we're all going to be able to volunteer and do things because we're going to be vaccinated and we're going to wear our masks and all of that. But it is an exciting time. So next, I believe that Mr. Ryan Bell is prepared for an announcement. So I kind of wanted to see if he's around. How about it, Ryan?
Oh, yeah. Hey, guys. I'm just out on a run here for the worldwide ride to end polio. I don't know if you guys knew that, but that's this Saturday. Thanks to COVID, we're doing it virtually, and you guys can actually all participate, just run in place even. All you got to do is work out, do something for 30 minutes, and write a check to Rotary District 6000 for $30 or more and mail it into Susan Herrick, who Barb put her address on the slides today. So we would love for all of you to do that. We would love to get 100% club participation and get healthy in the process. Also, in the upcoming Rotary magazine, this event, and specifically Iowa's involvement in it, is going to be featured in that, where they have the globe and they kind of show all the events around the world. So look for that in the next Rotary magazine, and then you can say you helped participate. So thank you, guys. I'm back off to my run.
All right. Thank you, Ryan, and enjoy the run. So next, we're going to go to Chris Atchison for an announcement. Chris?
Thanks, President Barb. And I want to make the third announcement in the continuing series of announcing that the district grants are now open for application. The last 2 projects, and Mark talked about one of them, the Rotary Kerber Heart Safe Community Project. and before that, Birdhouse Hospice. Those were two examples. You can see how the Heart Safe program has really taken off and is moving district-wide. So that's an example of the kind of thing that we can start with these district grants. It's open to any Rotary engaged activity. So if you're on a committee, if you're working even on a community project that Rotary maybe could get involved with, please contact either myself or Tracy Triddle. More information is available in the slides, and we look forward to getting some proposals candidly, or I guess the word today is transparently. I've not been contacted yet by anybody with ideas. Give me a call, even if it's just a concept that you've got. We got a couple weeks left before we have to have applications to the board, and we can work with you to put this together. So please think about things we can do to help the community.
Great cause, great opportunity. Think about those options and then reach out to Chris or Tracy. Next, I'm going to go to Eric, our president-elect, because he has an announcement about the district conference. Eric?
Great. Thank you, President Barb. Wonderful to see everybody today. On the evening of Saturday, April 24th, our Rotary District is having their annual conference. This is a wonderful opportunity to learn more about Rotary and the great work that is happening in our district. And if this sounds like something you might be interested in, our Rotary Board is going to pay for up to 20 people to attend virtually. So I will put the registration link in the chat. And if you're interested in attending, go ahead and register and forward your registration to our treasurer, Neil Quellhorst, or to Barb and I, and we'll get you reimbursed. So evening of Saturday, April 24th, Rotary District Conference. Great opportunity for free if you're interested.
Great. Thank you so much, Eric. So as you can see, April 24th is a really big Rotary Day. You've got the opportunity to help clean up the highway. You've got the opportunity to plant a tree, and you have the opportunity to attend the district conference and get inspired to do more. So next, I would like to go to Vern Folkman, who will talk about the Rotary Foundation. Vern?
Thank you, Barb, and hello, everyone. Barb, I just want to say that you are doing an excellent job as our president, and I just want to acknowledge that to everyone, because we've had a lot of great presidents, but I think you're one of the top. So,
well, gosh, maybe it's just because I'm only on like this camera.
No, I don't think so. I think it's whatever you do and say. But anyway, as chair of the Rotary Foundation, I always occasionally make presentations to people that are outstanding in their giving toward the foundation. And we have today also someone that has done a really fine job, and she's achieved her #2 in the Paul Harris Fellow, which means she's given now $2,000 toward Paul Harris Fellow. And her name is Margaret Reese, and you all know her well, and she's been active in Rotary, and I think still on the board, aren't you, Margaret?
What was that last part, Ren?
Still on the board of directors, I believe.
No, I'm not on the board anymore.
Okay, good. But anyway, would you like to say a few words of why you select the foundation as being one of your charities that you support?
Well, I think most people probably know that I am pretty familiar with not-for-profit organizations and also not-for-profit foundations, and being responsible with their funding and doing good things and making sure that they honor the intentions of the donors. And I think that the Rotary Foundation is absolutely at the pinnacle of responsibility for managing the funds, managing the gifts, doing what they say that they're going to do, and working for the appropriate causes in this world. And I'm so pleased to see that they adapt the causes on a regular basis. For instance, now incorporating the environment and so forth. So it's just an outstanding organization. And in addition, I wouldn't be giving if I didn't enjoy Rotary so much. And I need to look back and see how long I've been in Rotary, but it's been about 25 years, give or take a year. I can't quite remember when it was that I first joined. I've belonged to 2 different clubs, and I just get enormous pleasure out of it, and the fellowship and the good works, and saying the 4-way test, which I think about actually on a very regular basis in the context of my own life. I just think it's outstanding. So it's my great pleasure to contribute to the Rotary Foundation. So thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. And I will present you with this beautiful pin. It's a bust of Paul Harris with a sapphire in it, which represents your designation. And wear it with pride. And I'll be sending it to you later on here because I can't throw it that far. But
I know. Thank you very much.
anyway, thank you for your kindness and your donation.
Thank you.
Great.
Okay, back to you.
Thank you very much, Vern, and thank you, Margaret, for your support of Rotary International. And just think, hopefully within the year, we will all be able to meet in person and Vern will be able to hand out those pins directly to the recipients. That will be a great day. I think we all agree. So next, we're going to go to our Rotary moment of gratitude and positivity. And this week, Carlin Parrish is going to give us his Rotary moment. I think he might be even getting a little technical help from his fabulous wife, Fern. All right, Carlin, take it away.
Thank you, Barb. I hope I can inspire and urge some of our newer Rotarians, and maybe some of the older Rotarians, to become even more actively involved in Rotary. And I'm just going to go through some of the things I've done in earlier years in Rotary, and hopefully that will inspire some of them to participate more. I joined Rotary about 40 years ago, the Dearborn Rotary Club, which is, Dearborn is a suburb, as you know, of Detroit. And Dearborn is known for two things. One, the Ford World Headquarters sits right in the middle of the city. And secondly, Greenfield Village and Henry Ford Museum is in Dearborn, which is a great place to visit. In my first years in Rotary, I joined the committee which did the major fundraiser for the Dearborn Rotary Club. And then shortly after that, I assumed chairmanship of that committee. And the fundraiser they did was to sponsor the Miss Dearborn pageant. And that pageant was the initial start for a young lady to become Miss America. She would go from there to the Michigan winning, and then if she was that lucky, she would go to the Miss America pageant. And to put on the pageant, it required most of the Rotary Club. We had to, of course, sell tickets. We sold advertising. We did scenery for the stages, and we had to select a group of people outside of Dearborn to be the judges. And this pageant took place in late October, and the young ladies who participated in it were selected by the judges. And I have a picture here. This is, I don't know which year this is, but this was one of the winners of one of the pageants.
Just back that up just a little bit, pull it back. There you go. That's good.
Okay, just so you can see, that's what the winner looked like. And I continued on as chairman of this for about 4 or 5 years. So that was one of the things I was involved with. Then in 1987, as some of you I'm sure are aware, the United States Supreme Court stated that women had to be admitted into Rotary. So I, along with a couple other Rotarians, found 6 women. We initiated into Rotary all at the same time. And of course, nowadays, Rotary is closer to half men and half women, which is what it should be. But that was our initial start with ladies into Rotary. The other event that I was involved with occurred in 1989 to 1990. At that time, I became president of the Dearborn Rotary Club. At the same time, Hugh Archer, who was a member of our club, became Rotary International president. And so Hugh was, of course, a member of our club and also lived in Dearborn. He had a engineering and manufacturing company in Dearborn, and he traveled around the world, of course. And so so I gathered together a bunch of Rotarians and spouses, and we traveled by train to Chicago and then to Evanston, Illinois, to visit the Rotary International World Headquarters. And Hugh was there and took us around. And of course, we had to take pictures with him. and even got to sit in his chair for a couple seconds, each of us, just for fun. So that was a great experience and a great trip. And then later in the year, I took another group of Rotarians and spouses to Barrie, Ontario, which is a town, a city about 100 miles north of Toronto on Lake Simcoe. And there was a big celebration going on there at the time, and Hugh was there for that celebration. So we were there also, and had a great weekend. The Barrie Rotarians took us around, even took us out on a boat.
Oh, here's a picture of him. Hugh has got the blue sweater on.
Yeah, that's a picture of him at the, okay.
Got it, that's good.
Here's a better picture of Hugh at the meeting, the formal meeting. Can you see that?
We can, that's good.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So we had a very nice time at Barrie, Ontario, and later in that year, some of the Barrie, Ontario Rotarians came to Dearborn, and we entertained them in Dearborn for the week. So that was some of the events that I did in my first 10 years in Rotary, and I encourage the newer Rotarians especially to become involved. And some of the closing, I would like to say I hope that they will become involved, and I especially would like to thank our President Barb as for her wonderful year under the most difficult circumstances possible. We appreciate all she has done, and thank you for your time.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Carlin. Great to hear those stories about your various roles in Rotary and Dearborn, as well as, and we're just happy to have you here. Now, many of you may or may not know, but the reason that Carlin and his charming wife Fern are here is that their daughter and son-in-law and family are here as well. So I actually, I'm good pals with Chris Mond. I'm just going to tell you, his daughter, if you are going to organize the 6th grade party at an elementary school, that is the woman that you want on your committee. Okay, the woman rocks.
Very good.
She is also a math teacher for engineering. She does like the robotics club and such for the Iowa City area, and she teaches at City High. So great gal, and great that she's here because she brings you to our club, which we're happy to have you here, Carlin.
Thank you. Thank you kindly.
All right, well, Carlin talked about the start of women being involved in Rotary, and that's the perfect lead-in to our program today. So I reached out a couple of weeks ago to Linda Muston. And the reason I did was it was March. March is Women's History Month. And I thought about all of the women who have been involved in our club. And Linda is actually the very first president of our club. So here's a little information for you. When Linda Muston was invited by business colleagues to become a Rotarian in 1987, she was not only new to Rotary, she was not new to Rotary and its good work. As Ray's partner, she had attended many events as a Rotary Ann, which was what wives were commonly called. That's right, Rotary Ann. She has also attended an international convention during his presidential year. Now, to be invited to membership was not a personal goal for Linda, but the invitation from business friends who valued her work at Mercy, Iowa City, and with civics groups was a strong influence. She soon became very visible as one of the Rotarians who each week presented Rotarians in the News during the weekly meetings, a long tradition recognizing newsworthy accomplishments of members and giving her wide knowledge of the club. After being elected to the board, she was elected president for 1993 to 94, even as she was busy as vice president of marketing for Mercy and completing her MBA studies. In her 34 years as a Rotarian, she has served on many club and district committees, attended other international zone and district conventions, served as an officer of FAMSCO, and traveled to Cohotepec. Ray's role as district governor provided yet another opportunity to support the work of Rotary and to make lifelong friends here and around the world. The new initiatives in diversity and environment keep her involved and appreciative of Rotary's relevance and possibilities, even as the initiative to end polio continues. And so for today's special program, I'm going to turn it over to Linda Muston. Linda?
Thank you, Barb. Can you hear me all right?
We can.
Okay. Again, I feel like maybe this is Throwback Thursday. Carlin's introduction was perfect for the things that I wanted to share. And when you asked me to do something for Women's History Month, I went immediately to the other women, 6 other women past presidents of our club, just to see what they would say. And they had so many interesting experiences. I thought that this panel might be a really good way. So this program's maybe a hangover from Women's History Month in March, but we have come a long way in Rotary, especially since women were included or they were forced to be admitted in 1987. For clubs such as the Iowa City AM Club, which we sponsored in 1989, women have been a substantial part of the membership. In fact, the AM Club now is 55% women and 45% men. And they have had 10 female presidents, and there's another one coming up next year. Older established clubs were a little slower to adapt, such as ours. So when I served in 93, 94, it was a privilege not connected to gender, despite some outside interest in that. I was awed then, as I am now, by the talent of Rotarians and the reach of Rotary International. Historically, it had been said that come hell or high water, there would never be a woman president of Rotary. Well, in July of 1993, both happened. And as I looked at the gallery of people, it's amazing how few of the current members on today were actually part of that club at that time. But everyone was displaced by the extreme flooding. The reservoir went over the spillway for the first time ever, exposing what we now know as the Devonian Fossil Gorge. The roads to town, to Buke Street, Highway 6, even 380 were closed for weeks. So people were totally displaced. And at the beginning of that term in office, the district set up a flood relief for Iowa. And we were able to secure a couple grants. One was for the parent of one of our members to just give cash to help recover from the flood. There was also recognition of flood heroism by George and Nancy Droll's son, an Iowa City patrolman. Our Rotary board was focused then, again, kind of a flashback, because we were shipping used medical textbooks from the university hospital to Africa. Now, pre-internet days, they were so valuable to them because they had no resources. So we raised a lot of money for that. We also were very active with FAMSCO. It had just spun off as a district project, but the presidents and leadership came from the Iowa City Club, Pete Peterson, Bud Lewis, Dick Kennedy, and other club members. And another important challenge for us was to wrestle with the legal definition of the Scout Camp, the Rotary Camp in Coralville, and that paved the way for the sale 2 years later for it. So it was actually another 12 years before there was the next female president, Ann Parker. She was elected to serve in Rotary's centennial year. So I would like Ann now to share some highlights from her year. Ann?
Whoops, I have to hit that unmute button. Sorry about that. Thanks, Linda. I have to say it was kind of by accident that I became the president of the Iowa City Noon Rotary Club. I really hadn't given it much thought. And at one of the weekly meetings, I think it might have even been your dearly beloved Ray that came up to me and said, "Hey, would you put your name in the hat?" And at that time, there were 2, 3, even 4 people's names that were listed on the ballot, and we did paper ballots at the time. And I thought, okay, well, why not? I'll put my name on the ballot, because being on the board, I knew that it was sometimes a struggle, and what the heck, I'm not gonna go very far with this anyway. Well, lo and behold, surprise on me, I was voted to be the next Rotary president. which was very much an honor to be selected amongst that group. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention my friend Steve Headland. I think he's on, or I thought I saw his picture today, because he was the president before me and really helped pave the way for me going forward. You know, this, quite honestly, and here's a stereotype from 15 years ago that, yeah, it was my dad's club. Well, yeah, my dad's involved with this group. It was a number of his friends, you know, my childhood dentist and the doctor and all of these individuals. And so I had a little bit of a hard time calling these people by their first names, which is our custom in Rotary, but that respect and these individuals that I had grown up with and thinking, oh boy, they're putting their confidence in me to be able to run this group for a whole year and every week for a whole year. So with that, I was really honored. And, you know, looking back on 15 years, a lot has happened. Some of my memories are a little fuzzy, but I think the most exciting part of that year was the fact that Rotary celebrated their 100th anniversary. We celebrated together. I feel especially connected to this because I am a 5th generation member of my family. Some of you know that. Others, that's new information. To be a member of the Iowa City Noon Club. My great uncle was a founder of our club back in 1915, and his father, my great-great-grandfather, later joined. So that's the 5 generations connection. So that really meant a lot to me to be able to serve in that 100th year of Rotary as part of our family going forward. And of course, you will know that the convention that year was not someplace flashy, fun, you know, half a world away. It was in Chicago, Illinois, and rightfully so, because that was the start of Rotary, where Paul Harris founded Rotary International in 1905. And it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of people there, several individuals from our club. I know Karen Franklin was there, and Maggie Mowry, who then fun. We had a good time. But thinking back through those years, that was also the year that we celebrated our 90th anniversary here in Iowa City. And so we got to have a special dinner at the University Athletic Club. And again, it's celebrated throughout the whole year, not only our own club, but Rotary International itself. The goal with polio eradication had started in the mid-80s, 1985, I think, somewhere in there. And the goal was to be able to eradicate polio completely by the 100th anniversary. Well, as you can see, we're still pushing. We are so close, and that's going to be a huge monumental thing that Rotary's taken on. And I'm really excited that our club has helped to step up and make that happen, because I know a number of people have been out and doing immunization days, and the support that we've given, and the donations that we are currently giving our speakers today. It's going to happen. We all know it. So pretty exciting. That was also the year of our very first official trip as the Miles of Smiles team. And of course, that's a district project, but numerous individuals from our club helped to get that going. And here we are, you know, 15, 16 years later, we're still going back to Tenango. We've built an incredible relationship, which I think that's a lot of what Rotary is. You're building those relationships and making things happen around the world. So pretty exciting. The other, gotta look at my scribbled notes here. That was the 4th year that we took a trip to Hecotepec. And, you know, oftentimes these projects are 1, 2, 3, 4 years. Once again, here we are. We started out with a library at the school and have expanded out into the community, doing so many fabulous things and bringing all kinds of individuals with all kinds of different talents. So that was pretty exciting to now look back and see that that was happening as well. I think one of the challenges, biggest changes, excuse me, for our club that year, and as I look back, it really probably wasn't that big of a deal, but at the time it was, we actually switched from a printed newsletter that went out weekly. which were the minutes of our meeting, much like we do now, to an online digital form. And of course, today, pretty much everything we do is digital, all of our communications, and look at our meeting and what we're doing. And hopefully with this pandemic, we can continue some of these things as well. But I'll just close quickly with a little heartwarming story. Some of you will remember that there was a little boy, the Iraqi boy, who, there's a little bit of a story behind this, but anyway, he was in need of some heart surgery, life-saving surgery. And this little 5-year-old boy, with the help of a woman from West Liberty and some pretty neat people in our club, brought him over to the United States. He came December 30th and was here for about 4 months, had this surgery. While our club secretary at the time, Eleanor McClelland, was just enamored with this little boy. And she knew that my husband and I had 2 boys that were about the same age. And so before he went back to Iraq with his father, she hosted a little party for them. And our 2 boys were able to go and just sit outside and watch these 3 little boys who could not communicate because, well, he spoke very little English by that point. And of course, our kids, I'm embarrassed to say, I don't even know what they speak in Iraq. But anyway, they didn't have a clue. But here they were outside kicking a soccer ball around. And we brought baseball gloves and a baseball and playing together and seeing that how the people can come together and really make a difference. That's what it is. That's what Rotary is all about, and coming together and creating opportunities and making the world a better place. So that's what I remember from my year. With that, I don't know that Maggie was able to join us today. She followed me the next year with 2006, 2007. And then Karen Franklin, part of our groupie, then became president of our club for the 2009-2010 year. And I know Karen's here with us, so I'll toss it over to you, Karen.
Thanks, Ann. Good to see everybody, see such as we see people these days. Obviously, by 2009, having a woman president wasn't a novelty any longer. And I'm so pleased that this continues to be the case for your club, for our club, the AM Club, and in clubs across most of the world. And I hear there's something of a breakthrough at the international level, but I think we'll hear more about that later. We were asked to talk about some of our accomplishments in our year as president, or the club's accomplishments, I should say. I have to say, I'm very envious of Carlin and his wonderful memory of going back all those years and remembering what went on, because I had to look back at some notes I had. When I turned the gavel over to Bernie Kremers, we always did a little presentation. And so I went back to that. And I have to say, it was kind of an amazing year in what was accomplished. A lot of the projects that Ann talked about continued. The MOST project, Hecotepec, it's just amazing what has come out of the club. So much of the work of Rotary, of course, is a combination of Rotarians giving of their time, talents, and treasure. And in the year that I was president, I'm very proud to say that members of this club donated nearly $111,000 to local projects and Rotary International, all to improve lives and build friendships all over the world. A couple of new projects were also started in that same year through the inspiration and leadership of LaDonna Wickland. The I Can Read project was launched, and this is, as I'm sure you all know, is a project that introduces the joy of reading to our youngest students. This was also the year that the Ponseti project started its Rotary affiliation, and that was through the leadership of Lynette Marshall, John Buchanan, Vern Folkman, Chris Collins, Herb Wilson, and of course, Jose Morquende. We had a couple of local projects as well. There was a blood drive that was led by Chris Chasto. We did some site improvements at Mayor's Youth Empowerment site, and that was through a Rotary District 6000 grant, as Chris was talking about earlier. And this was under the leadership of Tracy Overton, Christine Sheets, Roger Lusala, and Ted Helly. I purposely mention all of these individuals involved since it's really these active members, men and women, that really accomplish anything that happens in a president's year. And I felt that my role as president was basically to enable and then get out of the way and let people with great ideas do great things. So with that, I'm going to send it back to Linda to cover Nancy Kwell's Horst year. Nancy was president from 2012 to 2013. Linda.
Thank you. Thank you, Karen. Nancy, as Karen said, was not able to be here today, but looking back on her year, that was the year under her Wilson's leadership that we became a 100% club. And that meant that our 183 Paul Harris Fellow members invested their points and their money so that everyone in the club could become a Paul Harris Fellow. And that was very unique in the district, kind of set us aside. But as Karen said, it was very much a group effort, and she was very pleased to be part of that, which really helped put our club on the map, as well as to help the foundation, which we all want to do. 2 years later then, Tice Winkleblack was elected president for a very historic year in the life of our club. Tice, what would you like to share?
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and hello, Rotarians. Yes, my year was really very much defined by the fact that I got to be the president during our 100th anniversary for our club, which was a great joy and a lot of fun and a lot of work, but good work. Like Karen, I referred to some of my notes, sort of my opening remarks of the year and my closing remarks of the year to try to remember all that happened. And I giggled to see that I had started off my year. Told me when I very seriously as a teenager said, Mom, I'm not going to go to church anymore because I'm not getting anything out of it. And she said, have you ever thought about what you're giving and not what you're getting? And that has been my Rotary experience to a T. If I had to tell you all the people who helped make these accomplishments possible, you would have to stay for the rest of the afternoon. So I'm just going to highlight very briefly some of the wonderful things that we did during that year. Our sponsorship and fundraising committee to make sure that we could have a celebration, as well as donate $51,500 to the local libraries and side $11,000 for future projects. We had centennial dinner and created a program book that we continued to use after that year to talk about our club's legacy. We had 300 people in it, and it was a great deal of fun and a wonderful commemoration of our club. Our new member committee conducted interviews of seasoned members of the club, and we learned a lot when they gave presentations about the other members who had contributed a great deal to our club history. We created an interactive map for flags to have on, which we still use today. We also designed a new logo and a new flag anniversary. So that was terrific fun. And we began an archive for our club's documents with the State Society that year. And in short, we celebrated our history and our tradition. We energized our club and had a great deal of fun and communicated to the community what Rotary means and what Rotary does. And the only two people I feel I have to recognize at the very beginning of planning our annual, Ray and Linda Muston, who've had such a Rotarian. had a great idea to send out a letter asking people all over the world to say happy birthday to our club. And we thank you. And then sort of blank, we left it open. It would be very fast clips. And what emerged was one of the most touching and meaningful things I've seen done about Rotary. It took Ray and Linda hundreds of hours, but it really helped me understand Rotary through the eyes of other people. And you know, last piece, I gained more than I gave that year, the beauty of service and the power of Rotary. So with that, I'm going to hand it off to Usha, who I was very pleased to pass the gavel to, and who was a wonderful president after me. Usha.
Oh, thank you, Thais. Can everybody hear me? Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm glad to be on this panel today, and I thank Linda Muston for organizing it. As you've seen, there are like such fascinating women in our Rotary Club. I did not know that at some point Rotary had not allowed women members when I joined Rotary in 2003. And since Linda gave me only 3 minutes to speak, I feel like I'm a goat rider today. I joined Rotary in 2003 into our club. My sponsors were Nancy Kwell and Tom Select. So as I prepared my brief remarks for today, my mind was overwhelmed with a flood of memories. Many of you know of me as somebody liking music and poetry, which has served me very well in this last year. And I don't know why you've stopped singing the Smile song. I was waiting for it. Indeed, 2012 to 2017 were the most intense years of my participation in Rotary because of 3 people, Gary Pesha, Herb Wilson, and Jody Braverman, in that order. My focus in Rotary was always on new member recruitment, in particular to have more younger professionals and college students coming into our club so that all of our projects and gatherings and even random conversations would be enriched through intergenerational networking. And I also feel I have to emphasize that our membership is what keeps our budget for our club robust. And that's something that we do need to understand and appreciate, whether we are members or leading the club as presidents. So in terms of membership size of 337, our club did become the largest club in the state of Iowa in 2017. In addition to all the wonderful program speakers and social events that were organized during my club presidency year, I was most happy to hatch and implement with so many others the idea of a road trip to Evanston, Illinois, to visit Rotary International Headquarters to learn about Rotary history in October 2016. And I was reminded of Carlin's comments, which were kind of particularly apt in this regard. This road trip was absolutely fantastic. And it was very memorable journeying together on a large coach bus with 12 university students and 12 Rotarians serving as that day trip's storytellers. Of course, right now in a socially distanced environment, you would not be able to do it, Barb. Rotarians, after all, excel in sharing each other's journeys so that others can hop on at any time to make a bigger difference in all our communities, no matter where we reside. Please smile and wave for me if any of you remember this road trip as fondly as I do today. Anybody waving? Gary, are you still here? You were on the road trip, I know that. Oh, Patty was there, yes, thank you. So most importantly, I'm very, very grateful to have had the opportunity to work with so many, many Rotarians, young and old, in the US, in India, in Australia, as I planned out my presidency year aspirations 5 springs ago. That seems like ages ago now. People who I recalled when I was writing my remarks, who were very good supporters and encouraging to me, who are not with us today. I'd like to mention at least 3 came on my radar immediately, and I was crying about it actually. Carolyn Gross, Bill O'Lean, and John Dasher. Today, whenever I drive through downtown Iowa City, I smile as my eyes fall upon those bright blue Rotary bike racks. These bike racks were installed with the District 6000 Community Service Grant, thanks to District 6000, awarded during my club presidency year. 4 days after the city of Iowa City helped install these bike racks, we really lucked out. Rotary Vice President Jennifer Jones was passing through Iowa City, and these bike racks were a perfect photo op for her. So now I'll pass it on to Linda Muston to show you the picture from May 2017.
Thank you, Barb. Do you have the picture? Jennifer Jones, who is the third in from the left. District Governor Steve Dakin is on the first person on the left. Jennifer Jones, who is the second from the left, second from the left, third. She's the blonde with the sunglasses. Okay. Anyway, she will be the president of Rotary International in the year 2022, 2023. 35 years of service above self after women became full members of Rotary. Our incoming district governor, Alka, is from Keokuk, will be the 5th female district governor in District 6000. So I really thank each of you for sharing your perspectives today. Women have always been a part of Rotary. And in many cultures, the Wheel Club of wives and supporters still do much of the work and do much of the heavy lifting for their husbands' clubs. One of the relics that I have that Carlin might appreciate, but this is a booklet that was given to me. So your husband will be Rotary District Governor. And it's a relic that told me how I was to help and support my husband. The dedicated work, though, of women has only gone in to multiply and extend the impact of Rotary in its 35,000 clubs around the world. I especially think locally of Nancy Pasha with 1440 and Deb Duncase with Iowa Most and Linda Farguson, Sarah Richardson, and Donna Wicklund, and we could go on and on. Working side by side, men and women, to make the world a better place. And President Barb, I want to end by saying you have distinguished yourself as leader in this pandemic year. Now, 30 years from now, when you're asked to describe what it was like to be president in a pandemic year, I hope that the issues we're now embracing, such as peace and climate change and diversity, will be just as old news as women in Rotary leadership is today. Thank you for a chance to share a look back.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Linda, and to all the past female presidents. Great reflection on the time that you have had. It's actually been my honor. I'm just going to tell you, 30 years from now, if they ask me to speak, I'm only going to do it through a camera. Okay, I'm just kidding. So, one of the great things that you hit on, all of you hit on, is that it's all the people. It's not just the person who's leading, it's every single person in the club taking on a role as a committee leader, taking notes, whatever you're doing, we're all contributing towards that big cause. And that's what can make our club better. So I have to thank the women that are actually on the current Iowa City Noon Rotary Board with me, which includes Madeline Windauer, Anna Moyer Stone, and Brenda LaMarche. And next year, we will welcome Kelly Drown and Tara Menettos. And I have to say, I am thrilled at the new crop of women that are getting involved in our club, because I think it's going to take our club even further. I'm just excited overall. Great women, great new members. You know, we've got Brent and Jesus and Tagba. We've got a lot of great new people coming on board. And once the pandemic's over, we're going to be able to accomplish even more. Now, Usha, I will tell you, I did budget for a trip to the Rotary International, headquarters this year, but you know how that went. And then,
you can still sing the smile song for me.
I will tell you that Aaron Schaefer has sung for our club a couple of times. And if you come back next week, I bet Aaron will play Smile for us. Okay, Usha, can you do it? Next week, next Thursday, and then I'm going to get Aaron. We have done it. We have done it virtually. Okay, so we will do it again just for you. Okay, so on behalf of all of these fabulous women, our club will make a donation to Rotary International's Polio Plus program in honor of the women of Rotary. And so, as you all know, those contributions are matched 2 to 1, which means that that contribution will provide 70 vaccinations around the world for polio. And so our club will do that in honor of all of the good work that our female past presidents have done. So while I may be president number 8, I am not the last female president. And so I look forward to the time when we can celebrate president number 9, president number 10, and that they can join the fellow female ranks. But in the meantime, we all need to figure out what we're going to be doing in the future as we kind of break free of the world of COVID. We already know we can volunteer and do some road cleanup or plant some trees, but we have the opportunity to kind of come out of this storm stronger, better, and more influential. And so the challenge, I'm putting it forward to all of you, is to think about what we can do. Remember, district grant opportunity is out there. So we want to make sure that we have a good option to kind of make an impact. So with that, I want to again thank all of you for presenting and sharing your story today. And I'm going to ask Kelly Drown to put up the 4-way test. If there is no other business before the club, I ask you to join me, and we will join in the 4-way test. I think it's coming up. Here it comes. Of the things that we think,
say, or do.
Is it the truth?
Is it the truth?
Is it fair?
Is it fair to all concerned?
Will it build
goodwill
and better
friendships?
friendships?
Will be beneficial to all concerned.
Thank you all for coming and joining us today. We hope to see you next week. We hope to see Usha next week so that we can sing, because, you know, Usha, it's all for you, right? And thanks, everybody. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Thursday.
Yep, see you guys.
Good
Bye,
meeting.
everybody.
Thank you.